Good morning, Grenada. It's your boy Troy Gill, and welcome to Rise and Shine. And of course, you know how we do it. We have great content, great information coming your way. But we want to start with this morning's fitness to get you pumped and ready for today. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Hassle-free loans for your every need. Cards have you covered, best believe. Cards ready cash is for everyone. Not to worry, fast approval. Hurry up and come. We got it all, we on the go. Cards ready cash, you already know. We got it all, we on the go. Cards ready cash, always ready when you're ready, let's go.
Quartz Ready Cash, ready when you are.
Sisson's WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
Good morning, guys. It's your boy Troy, and we are here at the Grand Anse Jetty on the beautiful Grand Anse Beach in St. George's, guys. All right, so we want to get straight into this morning's workout. All right, so I got two movements for you to get your heart pumping, get your blood flowing, get you ready to start your day. All right, guys, so follow me as we go along. All right, so we want to get warmed up. All right, guys, so we're going into a state of what I call active rest. All right, but you're getting warmed up, get that blood flowing, get your heart pumping, get you ready to start your day. So I want you to move your knees, move your hands, keep moving. All right, guys, let's go. We're working. Woo! For about 20 or 30 seconds, we're getting warmed up. All right, guys, you can spread your hands out like this. All right, you can lift them up in the air. Woo! Out front and back down. All right, guys, so it's a bit of a cardio movement, but it's also going to target your midsection as well. All right, guys, so follow me as we go along. Very simple yet very effective exercises. You guys ready? All right, so let's go. And nice and easy, you send that leg back and you bring your knees up and you do a standing crunch. Ready, guys? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, let's go. 1, nice and easy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we switch. Ready, guys? Let's go. 1, 2, nice and controlled. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one more, 8. Woo! Good job, guys. You're back into a state of active rest, right? You're resting in and between sets, but you keep moving. All right, guys, remember, any form of physical activity, any form of movement is important, guys, right? To get your blood flowing, get your heart pumping, to get you burning some calories, get you fit. All right, guys, and remember to take your sips of water in and between sets, guys. All right, guys, so we got 2 more sets, guys. You guys ready? Let's go. 1, 2, nice and easy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we switch. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good job, guys. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! Good job, guys. If you were following, so that was our second set, guys. All right, guys, and remember, keep moving, lift those knees, move those hands, get that heart pumping, get that blood flowing, guys. All right, nice and easy, very simple, yet very effective exercises that anybody can follow. All right, guys, young as well as old. All right, guys, and remember to take your sips of water in and between sets. All right, guys, so we're going into the final round, and I really hope that you guys have been following. All right, guys, final round, let's go. So we're going for 10 this time. We're gonna challenge ourselves, all right? So 10, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, come on, 10. Woo! Good job, guys. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. 10. Woo! Good job, guys. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. 10. Woo! Let's go. 1, come on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, come on. 8, 9. One more. 10. Woo! Good job, guys. If you are following, all right, so that wraps up our workout for today. All right, guys, and I just want to encourage you to drink your water. All right, make water your #1 beverage. It's really important to stay hydrated. And I also want to encourage you to make healthy choices today. All right, make healthy choices. All right, guys, it's gonna benefit you. All right, guys, so we wanna get into a little cool down. All right, so I want you to spread your legs, keep your knees back, and you reach down. So you reach down, you hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and back up. Woo! Right, then you reach this way. Woo! Hold it. Good. Back the other way. Hold it. Good. Woo! Good job, guys. Hope you were following. Hope you got something out of today's workout. All right, guys, and thank you so much for joining us on our Rise and Shine program this morning. And of course, stay tuned. We got lots more content coming your way, so don't go anywhere. Stay right there.
I'm Tony Julian with the details, and first up this evening, Parliamentary Representative for the town of St. George, Peter David, has responded to calls from vendors voicing their concerns about the poor facilities and the dilapidated building in the St. George's Market. We get more in this report.
According to the MP for the town of St. George, Peter David, while some conditions in the St. George's Market has improved, the toilet facility should upgrade as unsanitary conditions in the market is unacceptable for visitors and citizens. Vendors occupying the St. George's Market has been clamoring to the relevant authority for proper toilet facilities and voicing their concerns on the dilapidated structure that is in urgent need of repair.
Well, we did quite a bit of work on the market. The market has always been an issue for the vendors, as I always call them, the small business persons in the market, have been complaining for years. And so it's not a new issue. We did a substantial amount of work. In fact, sometime early in 2022, we did open the new area. That was prior to the elections. The new area was open. It was beautifully done in my opinion. And the conditions have improved. But if the vendors are complaining about the toilet, that is critical because you don't want the unsanitary conditions in the market. So I urge the authorities, I'm not criticizing, I'm not saying that it's as the vendors themselves say, this is not a politics thing. This is about allowing our businessmen and businesswomen in the market to ply their trade in a way that is comfortable and sanitary.
According to David, he believes that the new toilet facility should be open to vendors and the public immediately, as conditions for vendors in the market are critical.
I know we did work to improve the toilet facilities. If it is completed, as I believe it is, then I think it should be open. Whatever needs to be done to open the toilet should be done quickly. And again, this is not about politics. This is just me as the MP of the town of St. George trying to make it better for the vendors. We've done our part. I think I have done as much as was possible, maybe not enough, but certainly the vendors, conditions for vendors in the market is critical so that they can ply their trade. The economy needs the vendors.
Vice President of the Vendors Association is Jigaman.
Where is the toilet? I'm embarrassed to tell them that they have to go over there into that building. They have a new toilet that they started to renovate, and up to now it can't open.
The major events of Kayak Mass 2023 get underway from Thursday. In fact, already several revelers from the mainland have journeyed up to the Sister Isle for the activities. Several events are carded for the 15th to the 21st. According to committee member Princess John, patrons can expect a packed schedule over the next 6 days.
On Thursday, that's Majestic Thursday, we have 6 beautiful young ladies running from Miss Carriacou Carnival Queen 2023, and that is scheduled to take place the Hillsborough Recreational Ground. Friday, we have the Fantastic Friday. That's why we have 11 artists coming up against the reigning Soca Monarch Kozo. Also at the Hillsborough playing field, scheduled to start at 9 p.m. On Saturday, we have the Super Glow. For the last couple of years, we had it as a job convention. There is no change in the show. The only thing that changes is the name and the color. On Sunday, we have the twinning of the Calypso and Groovy finals at the Hillsborough Recreational Ground, also scheduled to take place from 8 p.m. On Monday, we have our most unique Juve. Carriacou Juve is the best Juve, as you know. So you'll see the streets of Hillsborough revelers. Slum will be coming up with his crew, and the streets of Hillsborough will be plastered in the Juve jam style. Later on in the afternoon, we have the fancy parading of the fancy mass bands on the street. Then in the evening from 9 p.m., we have the Monday night mass, and on Tuesday we have the climax of the festival, which is our most unique part of the festival. That's the Shakespeare Mass from Montreal, Brunswick, Hillsborough, Harveyville, and then into Hillsborough. And in the evening we have the final parading of the bands on the streets of Hillsborough.
With the high level of interest in the events for the next 6 days, John is pleased with the cooperation of kayaks in accommodating visitors to the island.
And we as a committee, it's challenging for us, but we are really working hard to make sure that everyone who comes to Carriacou Carnival will find somewhere to stay. As a matter of fact, last night we had persons calling to say we have a tent, where can we erect it? And we had to actually say, yes, you can erect it here, and they were really, really happy. So, Kayak Mass 2023, we're looking for a big, turnout. The support is there, the accommodation is low, but I can tell you that everyone should be able to find a place in Carriacou, because we have persons opening up their houses for persons, because, it will be a good economic turnover for Carriacou in a whole. So persons are really supporting in terms of accommodation, and for that we are grateful. Most definitely. And meeting with the police also, one of the action we'll be taking to is not to serve in the bottles. So in order to to make the thing a little bit more safe, because sometimes persons, when they're drinking alcohol or so, get in a little fight, you have a bottle, you can easily knock out somebody with a bottle. So we're urging persons, we're informing persons also that we'll be serving all beverages in a cup. So no bottles will be served from the streets of Hillsborough for Kayak Mass 2023. Is the mode of all carnival. We have to keep it safe, we have to keep it clean. Persons come here to enjoy themselves. This is the safest carnival, and we're also asking you please to come and support, enjoy yourself, and we don't want to hear anybody in the hospital. We hope that we'll have an accident and incident-free carnival 2023.
With the Carriacou Carnival festivities just around the corner, Grenada's Chief Medical Officer says preparations are ongoing by the Ministry of Health, including on the Sister Isle itself, to respond to emergencies during the celebrations. And in anticipation of large gatherings during the period, continues to urge patrons to practice preventative measures to curb the spread of communicable diseases.
Chief Medical Officer in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Sean Charles, speaking to MTV News on Wednesday, said the Ministry of Health is preparing to facilitate for the 2023 Carriacou Carnival festivities, or Kayak Mass, carried for this weekend. According to Charles, their first priority is to promote health and safety and to ensure they are prepared to respond to emergencies during the period.
Now, the Ministry of Health, in its preparation for these activities, we are positioning, resources to make them available in the event that someone may suffer some sort of injury or illness or so. So our staff are making preparations. We have 4 public doctors, 4 Ministry of Health doctors stationed in Carriacou. 3 at the hospitals, 1 in the community. We are presently engaged in ensuring that they have all of the resources that they need to respond to any event.
Ferrying patients to and from the Sister Isle has always been a challenge, Charles said. However, they do have options available if a serious emergency occurs during the period and a referral to the General Hospital on the mainland is needed.
Some individuals, I know in the past, they have chartered flights, to carry their loved ones. I'm not sure how much of a possibility that is at this time, but the routes that we have secured are, in the event of an immediate emergency, the services of the Coast Guard would be engaged, and maybe the Osprey Lines if that becomes necessary.
With large crowds expected during the period given the nature of the festivities, and with COVID-19 still at large, including other respiratory illnesses, he urges individuals to not drop their guard.
For example, if you know you're going to partake in these activities, ensure that you are protected in some way, especially if you have not been infected with COVID. And that would have been for you to get vaccinated before the activity. And for those who may be at risk and so on, if it is practical for you to stay away, that will be helpful. Otherwise, persons partaking, you can wear a mask. Just make sure you wear a mask, and you know, ensure that you're sanitizing regularly and so on.
For MTV News, Troy Gill.
Sociologists in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences at the St. George's University, Dr. Oliver Benoit, highlighted the importance of sports, including music and the arts, to be regarded as a subject rather than an extracurricular activity that aids in students' holistic development. The Intercol Secondary School Games were launched on Wednesday, and schools across the country have also been hosting their sporting events and activities. In speaking with MTV News on Wednesday, Benoit said he believes a student's overall development should not be limited to the traditional classroom.
The development of the human being is not only possible with just the main subjects that people do in school. It includes the holistic development must include sports, other form of activities like music, the arts as well. If we're talking about development, particularly as we are speaking about transforming society, education is paramount. And when we think of education, we have to have a broad education as possible.
Such activities should be on par with other subject areas, Benoit said.
One of the things that we look for education is to help people develop a sense of belonging and awareness. And it takes place not just with the traditional subjects that we tend to focus on, but also the other subjects. I call them subjects rather than say sports per se. And there are many different sports that the children should be involved in. And I would like to see it as broad as possible and supported by the various ministries and institutions. That's the only how people can develop a sense of belonging and the capacity to think even much clearer.
Said due to the onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic, some students completed their tenure in the classroom without having participated in sporting events and other activities, which may have impacted on their holistic development. Government has expressed satisfaction with the progress made thus far on the Laborie Main Road project. According to the parliamentary representative, Philip Telesford, together with his colleague, Minister for Transformation and Implementation, Andy Williams, recently visited the project site. They were updated by the company executing the project, Hanover Construction Company Limited.
It is important to us to see that the road is done in a timely manner and also that the quality of the road is on par with what we expect. And thus far, I can say that I am very impressed with what I see. And in speaking with the contractor, they comforted me that the road will be done by about April, which is timely enough for the residents of the area who have been suffering so long.
The project was recommenced recently and it's expected to be completed in April. It forms part of the over $40 million feeder road project.
My last visit here was last week, and there has been significant improvement from last week to now. They've done at least 2 additional pavements. So we've seen some good improvements, and of course that makes me happy because the faster we get this work done, it's better for us. So we've seen some good improvements in that area, and I'm very satisfied. The residents are satisfied. They have been calling, they have been expressing their desire to see the work complete, and now that we are addressing it, they are now satisfied, so that makes me happy.
Richard Maharaj, director of Hanover, says the project has contributed immensely toward economic growth.
That has been one of our focus as a company to ensure that we are empowering people by employment and also providing economic support to the economy by purchasing our materials. The majority of our materials are purchased locally, other than items that are not available in Grenada. And we have seen this as a tremendous benefit to our company, and also the feedback from local employment is most appreciated.
The leaders of statutory bodies have started submitting declarations of assets, income and liabilities to the Office of Integrity Commission. Following the distribution of letters to 18 heads of statutory bodies, Deputy Commissioner Winston James received 8 declarations of assets on Thursday, the 9th of February. The chairperson, deputy chairperson, chief executive, and deputy chief executive officer of statutory bodies are among the 33 categories of persons in public life whose declarations may be submitted to the Commission under the Integrity in Public Life Act No. 24 of 2013's first schedule. 9 of the 10 people who failed to submit their declarations to the Commission requested extensions, while 1 did not pass the pre-screening procedure. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCB, marks its 40th anniversary this year, and there'll be a series of official events to commemorate the auspicious occasion. On Wednesday, officials from the ECCB, including Governor Timothy Antwine and Deputy Governor Dr. Valda Henry, shared the vision for the ECCB's celebrations. But let's get more on this from Donella Hostin.
October 1st, 2023 will mark the 40th anniversary of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, and to commemorate this momentous occasion, the ECCB will be engaging in a series of activities throughout the year. As part of the activities, there will be a series of ECCB lectures hosted by different ECCU countries, the first of which is scheduled to take place in Anguilla, highlighting food security. Speaking more about this was Dr. Valda Henry, Deputy Governor of the ECCB.
Antigua and Barbuda. And our topic for this lecture series on the 23rd of March is Transforming Health and Wellness, Use of Traditional Medicines. Our lecture in April takes place in St. Lucia. The topic, Powering a Modern St. Lucia, focusing on the green and the gold economy, taking place in Grenada. The topic, medical tourism, prerequisites and prospects, the blue, the orange and the green economy. In July, lecture series number 6, taking place in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That will take place on July 20th, and the theme, education and training, skills for the 21st century. Come to September, taking place in the Commonwealth of Dominica, and the theme on the lecture series takes place on the 21st of September. And the topic, leveraging the nature island. The lecture series ends with a ECCB at 40 Global Conference in St. Kitts and Nevis, our headquarters country.
Dr. Henry explained how the topics were selected for the different islands as they work along with the mandates of the United Nations goals.
What they looked at was really the UN Sustainable Goals. What are the goals and the colors associated with the goals, but trying to fit in. As we said, this is our year of implementation. What are some of the areas and the affecting our region? What are some of the key areas that we need to pay attention to? Some of the factors that assisted with that.
Other activities include the launch of the ECCB's virtual museum, the ECCB's school quiz, a creative arts festival and island night, and the launch of the ECCB's policy handbook. There are, however, some recurring events, the Deputy Governor noted.
And they are ECCB Act 40 Spotlight Radio Program. ECCB hosts a regular weekly radio program, and once a month the spotlight will be on ECCB Act 40. The second event is the ECCB Act 40 Did You Know series. There will also be the ECCB at 40 lecture series taking place in the different countries.
Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Hostin.
With the passing of the Queen, there appears to be a growing concern about having new faces on the banknotes of the Eastern Caribbean currency. Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, or ECCB, Timothy Antoine, alluded to some things in the pipeline.
So there is a plan on a commemorative note. That's all we can say, because the Monetary Council is going to deal with that matter next week, God willing. There's a council meeting next week. And if the council approves it, we'll have something more to say. There is a physical note that we are contemplating, a commemorative note on that. On the matter of the image of the British sovereign, the monarch, I have said before, and I repeat, there is no imminent change to our existing cards. We have in stock, in some cases, 3 years, maybe even 4 years of mint condition notes. We're not going to tear those up. We're not going to burn them. We're not going to throw them away. We can't. We've invested heavily in that.
In relation to what comes next, Governor Antoine had this to say.
Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, it's a fair question, what comes next? That is a decision that our Monetary Council, which are our finance ministers, most of whom are prime ministers, will make in due course. We have not formally made any representation on that, but I will tell you, certainly as I have moved around the currency union, as I did especially last year during the country outreach missions, I did not hear a lot of appetites. In fact, I heard no appetites for a continuation of the British monarch on our currency.
As the government tries to resuscitate the country's agricultural sector to improve Grenada's food security and sustainability, the Ministry of Agriculture is doing its part to engage as many stakeholders in the sector as possible. Well, there have been several issues raised by livestock farmers over the years, including but not limited to proper storage and slaughtering facilities, as well as challenges posed by unfettered animals. Now, with this said, a team from the Ministry of Agriculture, which includes the Minister for Agriculture, Adrian Thomas, will be engaging the livestock farmers in a session carded for Thursday, the 15th of February at the St. Andrew's Methodist School at 4:30 p.m. All livestock and farmers were encouraged to attend this meeting as the ministry's team is seeking to outline a plan to develop and move the industry forward. You're tuned in to the MTV Evening News for Wednesday. For this evening's Health Wise, we continue our conversation with Health Promotion Officer in the Ministry of Health, Roxanne Benjamin, on managing stress and its effects on one's physical health, and she highlighted 3 ways in which one can reduce negative stress levels and also improve their overall health.
Very important one, and I think you mentioned it in the very beginning, is to exercise. Physical activity and exercise plays a very important role in managing stress, and the reason why is because when you are physically active, when you engage in exercise, it allows the body to release what you call the happy hormones. You know, sometimes you go on your exercise, and when you come out and exercise, you find yourself laughing, and it's because the body would have released happy hormones, right? So once that happens, it will help to reduce depression, it will help to lower anxiety, and as such you will be better able to deal with the stress. So that's just one, to be physically active. Another way is to sleep. Now, sleeping is extremely important. When persons sleep, the body repairs and restores, right? So someone who didn't get a good night's rest, if they were to, let's say, go to work and face with a situation, the way they would deal with that situation would be different from if they would have slept well or gotten good quality sleep. And the reason is because the body it's energized, it's in a better position to deal with things, right? So getting good quality sleep can help persons to deal with the stressor or the stressful situation better than if they don't sleep. So it's a case where when you go to bed at night, even if you wake up, you fall back asleep right when you go back and lie down, or within 30 minutes of laying back down. If that's not happening, then it therefore means that your sleep quality is being affected, right? So normally I would recommend that persons avoid things like drinking a lot of water before going to bed, because when you consume a lot of water, you would constantly have to get up, and that would interrupt your quality of sleep. Also, avoid eating large meals. Because when you consume a lot of food right before bed, your digestive system have to work for the entire night, right? And that's putting additional pressure on you. And not just that, I don't know if you ever eaten like probably a bowl of oil and go and lie down and sleep. That normally gives persons nightmare, yeah, or it definitely affects your quality of sleep. So you want to avoid large meals and consuming lots of water. Eating healthy is also important.
All right.
I know that when persons are stressed, it's easy for them to consume a lot of the fatty, sugary foods because it makes them feel good. But consuming foods that is high in magnesium, so things like dark chocolate, and probably that is why people eat chocolate when they feel stressed. But the dark chocolate is healthier. Right, dark chocolate, avocados, bananas, ensuring that they get in the protein, so your lean meat, ensuring that you get in your vitamin B, so from your whole grains, your avocados, your watermelon. These foods are extremely important because what it does is that it helps to lower the stress hormones and makes it easier for your body to deal with what is affecting you.
Good morning and welcome to Rise and Shine for today, Thursday, it's the 16th day of February 2023. I am your host, Oslin Crosby. It is a pleasure to be here with you. Always a pleasure, rather. And today it would not be a different program, but one where we continue to share lots of information with you and give you that perfect start to your day. We always encourage you to be your best, do what you do best, and of course, protect your mental health. Today we continue the reparations conversation, what it means, and we're doing it from different perspectives. We spoke to the sociologist so far. We have spoken to the historian and a commission member. Today we are speaking to a professional musician and businessman, right? So we'll be speaking to Mr. Preston Hollis this morning. And we'll also be speaking to Claudette Pitt from Specto, speaking about that Sustainable Community Development Project up there in St. Patrick. So it is expected to be another very informative morning. And I like the tone of all of this because we are in Black History Month. And I think all that's happening here in Grenada, or rather expected to happen here on the 27th with the Trevelyan family, is a start, a good start, and we all are going in the right direction. It is time for us to take the hints and heal as we move forward. Let us go over to the Met Office where we get today's weather forecast. Gives us an opportunity to plan our day. Good morning.
Good morning to you and good morning to the listeners. Here is the weather for today, Thursday, 16th February 2023. Presently at the airport, conditions are fair. Winds are from the east at 15 miles per hour. Pressure 1014.2 millibars, which is above normal and rising. Present temperature 24.7 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity 75%. Yesterday's maximum temperature was 29.7 degrees Celsius. Minimum temperature last night 23.9 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, there was 0.1 millimeters of rainfall at the airport, which brings the total for the month to 14.4 millimeters. Looking at the public forecast valid for today and tonight, the weather is expected to be generally fair and windy, becoming partly cloudy at times with brief isolated showers. Today's maximum temperature 30.0 degrees Celsius. Winds northeasterly to easterly at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Seas moderate to slightly rough, waves 6 to 8 feet in northeast to easterly swells. A marine advisory remains in effect. Tides are currently rising and will be high at 10:30 a.m., low at 5 p.m. Sunset today 6:15, sunrise tomorrow 6:29. Again, the weather is expected to be generally fair and windy, becoming partly cloudy at times with brief isolated showers. A marine advisory remains in effect. From the Met Office, I am Cassia Johnson.
Thank you so much, Ms. Johnson, for today's weather forecast. Fair and windy, so it's expected to be a beautiful day. We are moving deeper into the dry season, and I think the weather conditions that we are experiencing seem to be cognizant of that. Well, seem to be in line with that, but along with it, we are still getting some rain. But we appreciate the mixed conditions. Our farmers are not complaining. It means that Nawasa can still give us water and our food can still grow. Let's go over now to our word of the day. Today, the word will be given by Nathan Smith, a grade 6 student of the South St. George Government School.
Hi, my name is Nathan Smith, a grade 6 student at South St. George Government School. The word for today is aspire. Aspire means ambition towards achieving something. She aspired to a career in medicine.
Aspire. Today, I encourage all to aspire to be better. As our motto said, aspire, build, and advance. Today, let us aspire to be better people, yes? Build and let us advance in every possible way of our lives, be it in our personal lives, our careers, or just some daily goals. And remember, no matter what we plan to do, always remember that as humans, we have a responsibility to help others. Let's now take in our emergency tip of the day. Workplace fire safety tips. And it is critical that we are mindful of this because remember, the workplace is not only for employees, but also your clients, the public that you serve. And whenever something happens, you're not sure who is there or will be there at that time. So identify the 5 hazards, identify the people at risk, evaluate and reduce hazards, set up an emergency plan and conduct training, and review risk assessments. That is very, very important. And I encourage all our workplaces, you should have an emergency plan in place, not just a fire plan, an emergency plan that can cover every single area, hazard that has the potential of affecting us. So let's be mindful of this. Yes, let us all be mindful of this. And as you go about your daily chores today, always remember, hazards don't tell us when they are coming, but they are around, and it is our responsibility to prepare for them. Fire is one of those. So it is now 7:44 in the morning. We will now take a quick break, and when we come back, we speak to Mr. Preston Hollis about reparations. How should it be conducted, and what the monies that will soon be donated to Grenada first reparations payment should be used for. We'll be back shortly.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Hassle-free loans for your every need. Courts have you covered, best believe. Courts Ready Cash is for everyone. Not to worry, fast approval. Hurry up and come. We got it all. We on the go. Courts Ready Cash, you already know. We got it all. We on the go. Courts Ready Cash, always ready when you're ready. Let's go.
Courts Ready Cash, ready when you are.
Sisson's WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
Welcome back. So, as indicated before we went on the break, it's now 7:46 in the morning. We will be speaking now to our first guest. His real name is Mr. Preston Hollis, but he's affectionately known as Rasta Carey. Good morning, Mr. Hollis, and thank you so much for being here with us. Good morning, Mr. Hollis, and thank you for being here with us. I don't think he's hearing me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Pleasant morning, Austin.
All right, thank
you
you.
for having me.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
I wanted to, before we start off the conversation, I don't think you're hearing me. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you. They had a slight echo before, but I'm hearing you clearly now.
Okay, wonderful. Before we get on into our discussion this morning, I want you to speak to us about who is Rasta Carey. Yes, a businessman and a musician. Who is Rasta Carey?
Rasta Carey is just a humble descendant of my ancestors who were slaves. And I studied music for the reason of finding who I am as a person, because in my early childhood, preparing for GCE, my mother went to Trinidad and got a book, 2 books as a matter of fact, by the late great Dr. Eric Williams. One such book was Capitalism and Slavery. And from that time, I've been on a journey to find out why our people were mistreated, abused, dehumanized. And up to this day, we are still dehumanized. And every effort that has been made to take a stand to restore dignity, we have been facing roadblocks. So my whole life have been a quest to find out whether I was just a forgotten slave, a no good, someone who have to be dependent on other people for survival, or someone whose parents were mighty people that had a civilization even before meeting whether it's the European or the Asian.
Okay. So this is Rasta Carey, okay? And your life, I guess that journey continues in you finding yourself, yes? That research aspect of you, that continue. Now that we are at this place, I want us to take our conversation now, because your introduction of yourself meant that you have always been on this journey to see this day, reparations, understand slavery, what it has done to us. What do you think? How should we treat this that we are now dealing with in that of reparations? How should reparations be conducted from all your research?
Okay, let me set the tone for what reparation is and what we as a people should be doing. Okay, now we come from a matriarchic people. We Africans are matriarchal, meaning that we are very communal, and in our society, the woman have been the instigator of pride to our people. a very spiritual people. Everything we did was to live with nature. Okay? Next, on the other side, the people from the Caucasus Mountains, they're from the patriarch, which, if we break it down in layman language, very male chauvinist and hostile people. Okay? So let us look at that backdrop. If we're saying that civilization, we are the cradle of civilization, then we have to ask ourselves why we are in this situation today. All what the oppressor has today, even today, came from our knowledge. How did they treat with the knowledge that we gave them? Turning to be very ungrateful, because listen, it takes a savage to defile one's humanity. For you to be able to enslave someone, you have to strip them of everything. You understand? So I'm saying, let's fast forward. Every one of our warriors that trod this planet from hence to today is saying the same thing. We need to restore our humanity. That means we have to have a reference. Let me give you some examples. China have been dominated and enslaved at one time by the same colonial powers. India, okay, modern day, we have Vietnam, Cambodia, all these places. But today, they are vibrant nations because they held on to their culture and they fought tooth and nail against colonialism and imperialism to the point where you call them first world nations. Okay, so let's look at our situation. Why do you think that we as a people are so, well, let's just say, for a lack of a better expression, confused? Because we don't have a reference. Our only reference that's been taught and up to today being taught in school is slavery. When you look at a slave, you look at somebody that's hanging from a rope, somebody have scars on their backs. You're looking at women that were raped. You're looking at people who've been used as like studs to create commodity. You see, that is what, and even today, the reason why these colonial powers, every one of them, and the people, all the descendants who benefited from that savagery, up to today, they're still plundering and sucking the resources of our country, which is Africa, and still not giving us anything. So they're taking us for fools. And then what happened, you know, I know a lot of our brothers, well-learned brothers, let's put it that way, and sisters. I'm not saying they don't mean well, But they don't, I don't think they understand the gravity of what it means for someone to regain their dignity. You know,
The conversation.
Brother Bob Marley said it well. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Okay, let me just show you a Grenadian example. We have a statue of Mahatma Gandhi somewhere up in St. Patrick's or somewhere there. All right? We celebrated other people's heroes and cultures and glories. What about ours? We talk about Grenada. Malcolm X is us. Malcolm X mother is from here. Where's the statue of Malcolm X that gave his life to bring the awareness to our people? Marcus Garvey, from which all these revolutionaries, the so-called revolutionaries today, got most of their philosophy because of his assertiveness in fighting to say Africa for the Africans, right? And when the Rastaman say back to Africa means let us get back to when we were a proud people. Today we're not a proud people, and we cannot accept platitudes and foolishness because none of the countries today that got the so-called liberation accept any of these. Why should we?
So you are saying that it is time for
us to change the conversation. It is time for us to make this one where we change the story of slavery. It should not be about all the things that we are taught.
But in order for us
to be liberated, then we need to do it differently. Is this what I believe you are saying this morning? And also
praise, so move away, remove ourselves from mental slavery, honor our own. Yeah? So let us start at home. Be like the Chinese that fought for a cause, yes, and not just accept what is given to us. With all of this said, now that we are now moving to this juncture where the Trevelyan family have accepted some responsibility for their families, their ancestors' role in slavery. How do you think we shall use that funds? And what are your thoughts on this step, this time that we are in now, with this family now accepting some responsibility?
I'm hearing an echo, but I'm trying to get the gist. I don't know if you're speaking about the British family, the descendants of slave owners who are making a gesture.
Yes.
Now, let us unpack this gesture. They come in to do a documentary. What the documentary would be used for? Would it be used for lobbying the European powers that they have to pay their debts to our people in the form of tangible reparation? Let us talk about what a documentary will do. You have a documentary. There's a copyright attached to a documentary. Who is getting the royalties from that copyright, which is intellectual property? Who is getting that? So you come up with £100,000 and you will get, for people who understand about intellectual property and publishing and copyright, that documentary showed on the same BBC that she's working on, making a ton of money because they collect royalties. Royalties is money, tangible. Our ordinary people on the ground don't understand that. They don't know that. So they keep coming up with little trinkets because they say our people get tricked with trinkets and they keep giving us the trinkets. No, why is they still exploiting all our resources, all our mineral, all our treasures? So what I'm saying The reparation should be about getting rid of that colonial education. That have to be eradicated yesterday, last year. We still relishing in that. And let me tell you something. Let me just add here that chattel slavery was political, commercial. Even our sacred people we hold in all these sacred high places, were part and parcel of that atrocity, and we still absorbing and having them tell us who we are. Listen to me. Would a conqueror tell you that you are a mighty people? In order to keep conquering you and keep you dumbed down, they have to make you feel that, listen, man, when we decide to give you a piece of bread, say thank you. And this is what's going on here. Monday is a fallacy. It's a fallacy, and I have no apologies for that, Oslin. It's a fallacy. And this year, 2023, our people should not accept it. And I'm going to go further. The reason why these people, and they talk about all this, Belgium and France and all Holland and all these people who want to apologize, they're trying to get ahead of the awakening. Africa is awakening. The African leaders were telling them, no, listen, man, put the brakes on this exploitation. They don't want us to get together. There's no difference between me and somebody in Zimbabwe. There's no difference between a black man in France and a black man in Egypt. According to Peter Tosh, once you're a black man, you're African. So we all in this, and we need to tell our youngsters, Africa is not slavery, and our history and our legacy is not slavery. Believe me, before we came in contact with the people who tricked us and betrayed us, we had alchemists, we had cities, we had universities, we had texts, and and even the religions that they're trying to stuff down our throat today, everything came from African spirituality. So they make us figure, Obia is people making you this and that. Oh, if somebody bother me, I'm going to Haiti and get Obia and all kind of foolishness. But they didn't tell you that the Haitian people run the French out of Haiti. Right? They run the French out of Haiti. And because of that, the Americans and France and all of them joined up together and gang Haiti and pressure them to pay reparation to them. Madness. Madness. Our young people need to hear this and need to understand this.
Rastacari.
Let's go back to the Chinese. Sorry. Let's go back to the Chinese for a quick bit. The Chinese, even today, right? I lived in North America for a bit. And in every Chinese village, when they have celebration, they're celebrating 5,000 years of Chinese tradition and all that. And you're seeing all the little kids, 1-year-old, 2-year-old, wearing 5,000-year-old outfits and all this type of thing. We playing carnival down here, and all we could do is to do lewd foolishness. Instead of we talk about Marcus Garvey, we talking about Shakespeare. We are disorientated, sister.
Carrie, I recognize that you are very passionate on this topic. We really do. We are kind of almost out of time, but we really do appreciate your contribution. And I think if I'm going to recap on your contribution this morning, you are saying that the education system needs to change, the stories of slavery needs to change, the heroes of our time needs to be emulated, And in addition to that, we need to remove ourselves from mental slavery. We need to free ourselves, liberate ourselves, but teach our young people more where we came from. And at the end of the day, you don't think that we should accept that reparations payment or apology from the Trevelyan family, because at the end of the day, it is still, it's almost as if it continues. I hope that sums it up as best.
Yes, it sums
as I
up.
can.
And let me just add this to the caveat. If they come in with this little measly £100,000, put it in our consolidated funds. We could buy a couple hospital beds. We could probably buy 2 little engines for our young fishermen, or a little boat, and some nets or something like that. Don't tell me you're going and do reparation studies. Hogwash, to excuse the expression.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rasta Carey. We do value your opinion this morning on the reparations conversation as we continue in this month of February, speaking about its implications. People sharing varying opinions on it. But at the end of the day, the story, I think, what is happening here, though, is that this reparation step, it is waking up the story of slavery, which I believe is the opportunity here, as we now have a chance to hear possibly a different side to the slavery story. And I'm really hoping that we can use it to break the shackles of the slavery period, mental slavery as we call it, and we can all grow to be better people. So Rasta Carey, thank you so much again for sharing with us today. We do appreciate. And I'm sure we would hear from you again in future. We wish you the very best and thank you so much.
Anytime.
All right. Have yourself a wonderful day, sir. And that was Preston Hollis, better known as Rasta Carey. The reparations conversation continues. The Trevelyan family will be here on the 27th of February. That should be next week. An apology and reparations payment. Some say they believe it is a step in the right direction and we should accept it as such, while others are saying, no, don't accept it, as it just continues the game of slavery. As the varying views come about on this reparations conversation, I do hope that as a people we can take away the story, the information that we may not have known from the past, but that we can go and validate the information through our own research. Because remember, you are only empowered through information. Do your research, find out. And at the end of the day, when you're going to form an opinion, you don't form it from what others say, but you form it from what you have found out, yes? The reparations conversation continues. Let's see where it all leads us. But it is my hope that at the end of the day, we can all be a better people, we can heal, we can grow, and we can truly evolve into who we should be. Let's take a break. When we come back, we speak to Ms. Claudette Pitt from Spectro.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
For your education.
for your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
What you gonna do when the rain is coming down? Nothing more to do when there's no one else around. Bring it back to the middle, push, take it back to the rhythm. Keep it up for good when the sky is falling down. All you gotta do is to bring it to the ground. Speed it up to your inner move. Stop, start, down. Nobody can get what you're going through.
Welcome back. Thank you so much. It's now 8:11 in the morning. We know that for most people, your work day have started, or children, your school day has started. Let it be a productive one, both in the workplace and at school. A day to learn at the workplace, and also learn in school. Now we're speaking to Miss Claudette Pitt, Project Coordinator of SPECTO. And we are talking about that National Livera Park and Livera Pond protected areas. SPECTO is an environmental group up in St. Patrick area in the northern part of the country that do undertake a number of sustainable community development projects through ecotourism to ensure that that area is protected. Ms. Pitt, good morning and welcome to Rise and Shine. Please put on your mic and also your camera so that we can speak to you. We can see who you are. And also make that connection with you.
All right, good morning. How are you? Rise and shine.
I am wonderful. I am
great to be here on behalf of SPECTO.
Yes, it's
St. Patrick's Environmental and Community Tourism Organization. Thanks for having us.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to have you. We often get to see clips or so or hear of things that you are doing. This morning we have an opportunity to see someone to tie SPECTO to, and also to hear of some of the work that you do. So, champions for the environment in Livera, and we know that there's a lot happening of that side, but you continue to do what you have to do to sustainably continue to develop the community and ensure that the ecosystem is protected. I wanted to give us just a brief background on SPECTO, and let's talk about that project that you have going on in the area.
Okay. St. Patrick's Environmental and Community Tourism Organization was formed in 2009 with the objective of getting involved forming a community group to get involved in the conservation program of the critically endangered female leatherback turtle on Livera Beach. Ministry of Fisheries at that point was doing some data collection, study, research, and part of the management plan called for the formation of a community group to manage these guided tours. Reason being to offer opportunities for livelihood that could link conservation to job creation and standard of living in the communities, with the objective to reduce the number of challenges that the conservation program offered. That is the traditional use of the leatherback turtle eggs and meat for consumption by the local communities. And that was still happening at the time when that particular species was critically endangered. And so the Grenada government entered into the program of endangered species to engage in the country's protection, as Grenada is one of the 3 Caribbean islands that the leatherback turtle comes to nest. The others being Trinidad and Guyana. So in a lot of ways, we are fortunate that we had our little island has been chosen by the environment to have the opportunity to have this wonderful, wonderful creature coming to our shores to nest, and that the hatchlings would go. Because it has been determined that where they're born is that's where they go back to nest. And that gave opportunities to create an ecotourism project through guided tours. Like I said, linked to livelihoods, giving jobs for tour guides and wardens to feature on Grenada tourism product. Especially as part of the pure Grenada.
May I disturb you just a little bit? We cannot see you. Can you please just keep your camera steady?
Oh my God.
Because
all right, sorry. Is this better now?
That is better. Thank you.
Okay, I'm
All
sorry.
right, that's okay.
Okay, so I think I came to the end of the why Specto.
So think about that project. So you spoke about in the Leatherback Turtle, and it is your focus group. What is happening now? What is Specto doing now? Because I know Specto is always doing a project to ensure that you can safeguard the environment and also the Leatherback Turtle. What is happening now? What are you doing now?
Okay, we received funding by the Small Grants Program of the Global Environment Fund of UNDP to do a project called Sustainable Community Development through Ecotourism, namely called the Liver Pond Ecotourism Development Project. The reason for this project is to upscale opportunities for increased livelihood, long-term opportunity for livelihood for tour guides and wardens, because the Leatherback Turtle Conservation only offers 4 months, April to July. So Specto's goal and our mission is to provide alternative ecotourism employment opportunities in the parish of St. Patrick's linked to conservation, protection, and sustainable management of natural resources in the Liver Pond. And the project objective is to expand ecotourism opportunities with a focus on youth and women. So with this project, we are going to be doing 13 activities, the most important of which are livelihood opportunities. We are hoping to, we have started some level of training already to do kayaking, bird watching, trailing, hiking around the Ramsar site, so that it could be part of our sustainable management. The tour guide gives the opportunity to do a guided tour without interference to any part of the biodiversity of the ecosystem. People just going into the lake and fish, would want to promote catch and release fishing, those kinds of activities. So that's one. Secondly, to create a virtual platform for tours. That came about recently because of the pandemic. This project was looked at for a number of years, how it is that we could increase job opportunities through the sustainable management of the Ramsar site, because the Liver Pond and its wetlands is a Ramsar site of international importance.
No, okay, thank you.
And as you move, we are not seeing you.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's just that is my camera on my computer is kind of moving about.
All right.
Yes. Okay, that's better.
Yes, that's better.
We can have.
Okay, so let's continue. Yeah, no problem. Sorry about that.
Okay. No. I guess it's my fault. So we are hoping that to get these eco tours and activities off before the start of the next winter season, that both visitors and Grenadians alike could have an opportunity to do something fun-filling, enjoying our natural beauty, and at the same time to giving an opportunity for somebody to have livelihoods, to get a job. So because of the pandemic, which really brought to head the possible disaster opportunities that may happen, we have been experiencing some through climate change, the profile and the integrity of our coastline, the beach liver have always changed. We have always had to come up every season with some kind of alternative route to get to see the nesting because of the changes of the seacoast and liver. So it was suggested that if we can put these tours on a virtual platform, So in the case of any kind of disaster, hurricane, rising sea levels, maybe another pandemic, let's hope not, our guides and our wardens and so can still gain the opportunity to have a job through selling the tours on a virtual platform.
Okay.
This is kind of new for us, and it's very ambitious, but hopefully we can be able to get this going. We have identified people who can do this for us. Also, in addition to that, on the same virtual space, to have what we refer to as a virtual library, an interpretation center that anybody, any part of the world can go to for a fee to get any information that may be critical to our ecosystem or biodiversity. What does Liverpool Pond and its wetlands means to Grenada? What acreage, whatever information. So yeah, that's our ambitious project. Linked to this would be also raising much more awareness about the Ramsar site and moving it from international importance to national importance and ownership by our people, especially the people of St. Patrick's and Grenada in general. So basically, that is what the project will be offering, the more critical and the more important activities of the project.
Okay. With all of this said, the project, the background perspective of the project, we heard that it is not just about the environment, but it also just being a conscious-minded person on the environment, that it is also creating livelihoods. And now we see the introduction of technology in all that's happening. With that said, if you were to evaluate what has been happening over the years, would you say that your mandate, your objective, your aim of starting this, that you continue to achieve this, and that you're also getting the support from the St. Patrick community?
We have been getting the support of the St. Patrick's community. Let's start with the Leatherback Turtle Conservation Project. When we began the project in 2010, it was started before us with Ocean Spirits. That is the NGO that does research and data collection of the leatherback turtle on Liverpool Beach, and they had started encouraging tours because there was the opportunity to do so. But like I said, the mandate called for community groups. So the government of Grenada combined the two things together into one protocol to ensure that the integrity of the conservation site remains of highest priority. We were called then because beaches are free in Grenada. Liverpool Beach is a closed beach when the turtles are nesting. And it was very difficult to get people to understand that they couldn't come to the beach. So we had to do quite a lot of public awareness on this. And we can see that now people are now booking the tours, they are paying for the tours because they understand it's a job for somebody that they know in St. Patrick's. It's a job for somebody. Paying for the tours, and it has reduced the poaching of the eggs and the killing of the turtles to almost 90-something% on Liverpool Beach. I think during the pandemic it went a little bit, just swayed a little bit. It went out of not control, but it increased because there was no activities on the beach at that time. So we do get the support of the people in St. Patrick's. In a stakeholder analysis that we did in 2018, 2017, when we did some surveys, the consensus was by most of the people who did the surveys that the area should remain a protected area. and that all opportunities could be, that the area could give to provide livelihoods for people in the area would be supported. We also get support from fisheries, from forestries, from Ministry of Climate Resilience, tourism, GHT. They are all on board with Specto, with the work we have done in the past, and which our continuation of building ecotourism in the parish of St. Patrick's. We want St. Patrick's to be known as the parish for ecotourism activities.
All right. So, Ms. Pitt, we are almost out of time, but we do appreciate the information shared, because now we have heard about the background to the project that the grant funding that was provided, and we want to encourage the rest of the public to be a part of it. We visit Livera oftentimes now, well, since the discovery of the Welcome Stone, and we know a lot of people come up to that area, and it might just filter down to the pond area. People trying to understand, because I know during the pandemic period when we could not have left the island, then we explored, yeah, and I believe Specto did get the area people got to know a lot better. So I want to encourage the general public to be a part of these eco-friendly, yes, ecotourism events, and let us be mindful that when we visit the areas, that's important that we protect our environment, yes. And I am happy that the people in St. Patrick are supporting the program, but I think for it to continue to be alive, then the rest of Grenada must support too, because we do move about in the areas and we have to be mindful of it. We want to really wish you and your team the very best. Keep us updated, because normally we do get to hear from you often. And let's see how this, when you get to the point where your tour guides can actually, you spoke to that achievement earlier, and that of recording the tours, so that even at the time when, if we, God forbid, we find ourselves back in the situation of a pandemic again, then we know that they can still be gainfully employed, as you spoke to this morning. So, Ms. Pitt, it definitely was a pleasure. I want to give you an opportunity to just share some parting words before we run off. And please,
thank
I
you.
wanted to draw back the camera just a bit for me again. Thanks. We are not seeing you. Right. That's better.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's good. Okay. Well, thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak to Grenada and not just St. Patrick's. MTV has supported our work in the past. Our tour guides and so have been on your station before our tours weekend over the years. Pandemic came, kind of presented a gap there. But also to go back to the time of the pandemic, Specto, with help from the government of Grenada, did do some rehabilitation to the boardwalk at the Livera Pond. That was to facilitate the bird watching, the kayaking tours and so. And then pandemic came and we couldn't do anything. But you know what was good for us? What we found, that while we didn't make any money out of it, that people on the bus tours and so around the island stopped at the Livera Pond, went down to the boardwalk, took pictures. I understand there were wedding pictures. Some artists did the recording there. Everybody wanted to get a picture of themselves with the background of the Livera Pond. And that for us was very, 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 very comforting, even though we didn't make any money off of it. So I want to thank the people of Grenada for supporting the pond. And yes, and we think it is one step of it becoming of national importance, when people can understand what we have and how we can use it to have pleasure and fun activities, social activities as a people together. Thank you once again, and we will be back. You can be assured of that.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Ms. Pitt, and we wish you and the team at Specto the very best.
Much. Bye-bye. Bye.
So that was Ms. Claudette Pitt, project coordinator at Specto, and speaking to us there about that program that they have received funding for, and encouraging the public's involvement in it. Let's be mindful that the Lavera area is an ecotourism area. It is also protected under the International Ramsar Site. It is a Ramsar Site 2034 of the global importance under that convention of 2012. So when you visit the area, please, let's be mindful of this and protect our environment. It's now 8:31. This is where we say goodbye. For today, it was a pleasure being here with you. Today we spoke to Rasta Carey, the reparations conversation. Then we spoke to Ms. Claudette Pitt on Specto's work, the environment. It was an informative morning. I do hope that there are information that you can take away that can help you make better, more informed decisions. And I want to say thank you so much to all our viewers, the team, Tanya, Elton, Sugars. Thank you again for always being here, the extended MTV team, audience, you always being here with us. People at work, good morning. Have a great day. Smile today, make a difference. Do what needs to be done. Yeah. To everybody else, just have a great day. And remember, it's Carriacou Carnival this weekend. You're going up to Carriacou, please be very, very mindful that you're going up to have fun, not to make trouble. And as I heard this morning on the solid waste program, the Carracks have a tradition of keeping their place very, very clean as we travel up to Carriacou. From the mainland, please let's be mindful of this and ensure that we can maintain that very rich tradition and name that the Carracks have, that we don't go up there and just do things indiscriminately because we use the excuse of alcohol. It is not an excuse, you know what you're doing. Yeah? So please, let us be mindful of this and be responsible. Go there, have a good time, that's fine. Have a wonderful time. Go up to Carriacou, be great. Yeah, Carracks are usually very, very pleasant people. So do that, have a good time, and then you come back home. Yes, in one piece. And remember, if you're going to Carriacou, use the safe modes. Ensure that you alert the authorities, you alert your family, you're traveling the day. You ensure that you have all the safety tools that you need on board. Brief your occupants. Let's say you're going with friends. If you do own a boat, please, let's do this safe. We don't want a repeat of 2016. That was a very, very unfortunate incident. We don't ever want a repeat of it. So as you go on out there this weekend, have a wonderful time, be safe, enjoy Kayak Mass, but more so, be safe. So we see you again on Tuesday, God's will, and we do this all over again. I want to wish everyone a wonderful day, be safe, and do what we need to do to ensure that we keep pushing this beautiful country of ours forward. Have a great day, everyone. I'm Oslin Crosby, saying goodbye.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business.
For your education.
For your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
What you gonna do when the rain is coming down? Nothing more to do when there's no one else around. Bring it back to the middle, push, take it back to the rhythm. Keep it up for good when the sky's falling down. All you gotta do is to bring it to the ground. Hit it up to your inner move. Stop, start, down. Nobody can get what you're going through.
Rise and shine. Rise and shine. Rise and shine.